Hey everybody, this is Fi. We're checking out GENOKIDS Kickstarter combat demo. This is a game I've not played before. We're going to give it a playtest and see if we can give some useful feedback. I just want to clarify briefly for anyone who is not familiar with my videos. This is not a review and it's not a let's play. This is a playtest, which means that we're looking for feedback that will be helpful for the developers to help them make their games better. So, this is going to be the Kickstarter demo for GENOKIDS. If you're interested in checking out the game or contributing to the Kickstarter, check out the link in the description below. I got a page open here for the game. It's got a brief description. It says GENOKIDS is a game about motivation, a fast-paced co-op hack and slash, where a band of musicians of the same name repel an alien invasion. Inspired by games like Kingdom Hearts or Devil May Cry, GENOKIDS is a game about flashy, over-the-top action where player expression is highly encouraged, and for that, let's take a look at some of your tools. It goes on and shows some images, features. We've got 4 protagonists. Apparently this 4-player split screen, and it's still in early stages of development, so we're going to give this a shot. As I understand, this is just focus on the combat as far as this demo goes. I'm not seeing anything past the screen. I've got my Xbox 360 controller here. We've got some nice, I don't know how well you can hear it, but there's very kind of low level rock music going on in the background. It sounds pretty cool. It's kind of muffled, but from what I understand, the music is going to be kind of an important part of this game. It sounds very good. Kickstarter. Oh, okay, so that just opened right up in my browser. Let's check out the options menu here. Full screen window. Can we get... Yeah, we got exclusive full screen. That's great. I love seeing that. It's great to have these options. FPS limiter. VSync is on. We probably want to leave that on for this kind of game, I guess. Maybe. We'll leave it on for now. We got volume, music volume, sound effects, UI volume. Interesting, these numbers. All the way down to 40%. The UI volume. It seems like it'd make more sense. I mean, this is inconsequential, but it seems like it'd make more sense if you had these numbers kind of normalized and then like adjusted the volumes in on the developer's end, at least to some extent. But I guess if you want to jack up the music that much more, then you have that option. That makes sense. Camera rotation speed. Interesting. Field of view is at 70. That's interesting for this kind of game. For a third-person game like this, it's very interesting. I guess we'll leave it at that for now. Invert axes. Delete all data. Alright, let's check controls. Okay. There's a lot here. I don't know if there's any... Oh, it's got tutorials on the right here. Looks like only PS4 and Xbox 360 controllers are supported. Disconnect your controller to play with keyboard and mouse. I'm hoping in the final version they'll kind of work around that so you don't have to disconnect your controller. So it seems mildly bothersome. Tutorial, okay. Presumably in the final version they'll have kind of the tutorial worked into the game itself, you know. Nevertheless, this looks pretty nice considering how early it is. Move around the arena using left stick, and again, it's a bit unfortunate to just like read this, as opposed to like being able to act it out while you're being taught, and you know, have the tutorial elements be in context like that would be great. But again, we can expect that in a later version, I'm sure. You can roll using X while moving. Works on both the ground and in the air. Interesting. Also works as a double jump. That's strange. I don't know what that means exactly. We'll have to experiment with that. It just seems like if you were going to have a double jump, you would press jump again or something, but apparently it means something slightly different, I am assuming. Sprint, hold X while rolling to begin sprinting. You can let go afterwards. Okay, so we have to kind of navigate to the button and then press A. Let's go left and right instead of just like pressing left and right. It's a little strange. The answer to everything is violence. Basic attacks. Press B repeatedly to do basic combo. It also works in the air. Launcher during a ground combo. Press A to launch enemies upwards. That's during your combo. Flow. You filled a section of the flow meter. Flow specials. You can now use powerful attacks in exchange of one or more sections of the bar. So this is kind of written as if it was like an interactive tutorial. Kind of tell, even though it's not currently. Try using the Blue's turbo thruster by pressing right trigger Y. You can check the rest of her specials in the pause screen. Interesting how there's a close at the bottom of this. Lock onto an enemy to focus your attacks on a single target. Automatic. When the reticle is orange, it means the character will automatically choose the nearest enemy. Press right bumper to manually lock one. Is that meant to be lock one or lock on? I think it's lock on. Okay, so the yellow reticle means it's kind of choosing an enemy based on context, whereas the blue one manually locks onto that and presumably stays locked onto that until you cancel it or whatnot. Block if you can't dodge, take it like a champ. Press X without moving to guard, you will negate any incoming attack. Parry after a successful block, press B to execute a counter. Air chase. Nothing is out of reach if you're motivated enough. Press Y to quickly approach a faraway enemy. If you don't need any special resource for this... Oh, you don't need any special resource for this move, so abuse it. You filled the entire height meter. Okay, we have different meters. What was the last one? Flow meter? We have a flow meter and a height meter. Interesting. Tap in your innermost potential by pressing left bumper. So I'm wondering how that's going to work out with multiple meters. It makes it look like there's even maybe a third one. Maybe that's just your health. I don't know. It's interesting to have multiple, like, if we just call them special meters as a general term, there's like more than one, I guess, in some sense. At least that's what it looks like here. Although I'm assuming the hype one like only functions when it's maxed out, and then you can do that. So I guess that makes sense. Dodge roll, you can... Oh, wait. Oh, okay. I think we wrapped around to the beginning. Okay. All right. So unfortunately, it's a little hard to just like remember all this stuff without, learning it in context. So hopefully I won't forget anything, but I'll try to figure out as much as we can in the gameplay here. Camera's on the right stick. Flow. Oh, we got different flow specials for each button, it looks like. Aerial roll, sprint. Alright, so I think the only thing that wasn't really described in the tutorial things was that there are different flow specials here on each button. And then talk about like moving the camera, but that's straightforward enough. So I guess we're gonna finally try and jump into this. This is complete the demo, so maybe we'll unlock the other character if we complete it. I assume that's what that means. Fast and combo-oriented focus is on aerial moves. Let me just check real quick here that everything is in order in my recording. Alright, so we've got Turbo, Thruster, Blade, Burst, Jet Saw, Judgment, Blast. Alright, so it's a little hard to see what's going on in these images, but I guess it doesn't actually matter. I guess we just press the button and then... Oh, okay. So it's throwing this tutorial in here. Okay, so maybe... I wonder how much of this is actually put into context the way I said it wasn't before. I just assumed because I found it in a different place that it wasn't going to be here, I guess. So it's going to actually... Yeah, it's going to actually let me do stuff. So... Okay, I don't remember the... B. Oh, B is your attack button. Okay. X is block. Oh, and you can't hold it. It's just temporary. That sound with these rings shooting out of this beam of light is a little annoying. I kind of just want to listen to music, It sounds a little out of place. I mean, on top of the music like that. So it's a little interesting. I kind of, by default, would expect the X would be the primary attack button instead of the block button. so that'll take a little getting used to, I guess. That it occurs to me maybe that could have something to do with the fact that the developers might have like PS4 controllers, but that might not be true at all. I don't know. Can I go off here? Okay, we got invisible walls. It looks like I got camera movement. Alright, so the camera doesn't seem to... I guess it might change when we start locking on enemies and stuff. But there's not like a button to center it or anything. You might do like just pressing in the stick even if you don't have another button free. But I don't know. So it looks like these are our attacks. We've got jumping. We can attack in the air. And then this is a roll, and we can hold it to sprint. Right? Or is that... Oh. Okay, so once we start sprinting, if I let off the button, it keeps sprinting, which is interesting. I almost wonder if that's something you wouldn't want. I don't know. I don't know if the idea is that you don't have to bother with holding the button down. But it seems to me like if you want to be able to stop sprinting, having to like let off the stick and then like start walking again is more annoying than just letting off the button. Really small detail, but hopefully the volume's okay. I don't think the game is too loud, but just the nature of the aggressive guitars is makes me feel like it's a little harder to hear myself talking and stuff. So what were the other things we had? We could roll in the air. Oh, which is this. So I guess the idea of when they say it also works as a double jump. Oh, it does give you some vertical height. Okay. So just to get you a little further if you need to. I don't know if the spinning effect has any effect on anything. Like, it almost looks like it could, like, you know, block projectiles or something like that, but I don't know if that's the case. It's never been explained as such. I also don't know if there's any other, like... If I hold forward... Oh, how did that happen? Wait. Oh, it just happens? Okay, I guess it's just you keep hitting the button and it does the last move too. I don't know why I didn't do that the first few times. Maybe I just assumed the combo was over or something. So yeah, I'm not sure if there's different combos and stuff you can do. What were the other things? I guess we're gonna let the tutorial do its job here. So combat, press B repeatedly. Oh yeah, the launcher. During ground combat, press A. Alright, so hopefully the tutorial expects me to actually execute the launcher here. I feel like maybe this... where is it? The vertical axis should not be inverted for me. That's better, okay. Okay, so moving on, I think it would be a good idea to actually include, or actually require the player to do the lifter attack thing, just to ensure that they got that part. Also, it can be a good idea. Sometimes people just like, oh, that's nice. It shows some controls in the bottom left. Sometimes people just like mash through things or like accidentally press a button before they read everything or something. And there doesn't appear to be a way to like get the instructions back on the screen, so it can be a good idea to just show on screen somewhere like some words that just say like do this right now during your tutorial. So that they know like exactly what they're trying to do next and that sort of thing. Actually, now that I said that, I was talking for so long that I forgot what the last screen actually said, but I guess I'm just walking into here again. I don't know. Lock on. Yeah, I can't like go back or anything in the tutorial things here. So that's the right bumper. So here it's automatic, and then if I want to do that, and the camera behaves. Oh, that guy actually tried to do something. That's cute. Do something. Okay, you can block in any direction. Oh. Apparently if you press jump while you're in that stun state, you just kind of recover, and it's interesting. That feels pretty cool. I don't know what that dink sound is. Is it the blue meter? The blue meter filling up? And I think there was a... Oh, it was too late. Okay. Okay. Don't really get a sense of how much damage that's doing. It actually felt kind of weak for some reason. The little parry attack. Oops, that was too late. I wonder if... Oh, that was really close. Okay. I'm wondering if you should have like a little tiny bit of a grace period after you get hit, or like after you get hit, where you could still hit the block button. I don't know if you could like work that into like a hit stop or something. But yeah, you have to consider things like not just reaction time, but like the actual physical latency of, you know, controller input and all this stuff, and with VSync and everything. There can be times where it feels like you hit the block button at like the same moment, like exactly when you get hit, and it almost like it feels like it like probably should have blocked, even if technically in the game code it was too late. And the way the game is designed here, it feels as though it's trying to kind of encourage you to do it like early, not like at the same moment, right? Which is fine, and I'm sure you could get used to that, but I feel like it might just, you know, feel good if there's just like a little tiny, like not enough to really notice that it exists, but just, you know, like a few frames of a grace period after you get hit where you could still trigger the block and it would count as a successful block. If there's a way you could do that, I think that would feel nice. I'll try this one more time. Okay, maybe you're meant to kind of combo out of this. That was too late. Oh, that was too late. That didn't feel too late, but again, there's a little bit of latency, and okay, I was trying to combo, so I was mashing the attack button, but the other guy hit me, so it was unfortunate. Oh my gosh, I'm doing it too late. Alright, come on. Okay, I wasn't looking at my health at all, so I wasn't expecting it to just die like that. Reality cannot be changed. Okay, that's... It kind of reminds me of Chrono Trigger. Might be nice to have some kind of an indication when your health gets low, like, you know, have the edges of the screen flash red or something, have like an audio feedback or something. Like, to that effect, that would be nice. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if the tutorial things just quit. Like they're not going to show up anymore. But yeah, I'm noticing that the attack after you parry something doesn't really knock them back very much. So I guess the idea is you can kind of keep comboing them after you execute it, but... I don't know if it's just my expectations or what, but I kind of feel like the parry attack should be something a little more grandiose or something, like more impactful rather than just like a really fast little swipe. But yeah, I assume that was the idea, is that you can kind of just start comboing. I wonder if the camera should do a little more on its own. It's 100% manual until you go into lock-on mode, but I'm not sure. Okay, we didn't do the pop-up in the air thing yet. Oh, I was trying to move out of the way. Alright, so get used to what the controls are here. Definitely get this effect where an enemy can be this direction, like the down direction of the screen. You can't really see them very well naturally when they're in this direction, and then I guess the idea is you're probably going to want to mash the lock-on button, I guess, to try and remedy that. So that would be something to get used to. Until you kind of make that mental connection, you kind of have to like reach for the camera control, which can be a little annoying to have to kind of... It's almost like you have to stop playing in order to wait for the camera to rotate, and then you put your hand back on the buttons, that kind of thing. Alright, so this is the dash thing. So this, I think, is going to be a little bit... I could see this being a little annoying because of the way that the auto lock-on thing works. If you want to dash to a specific enemy, it seems like it's... From my brief experience with it right here, it seems like it's really unlikely that it's going to select the one that you really want. So I wonder if there's a way that you could adjust that, because what I want to do is I want to like point the stick in the direction of that enemy, but the auto lock-on thing doesn't really work that way. It seems to be... Like, it highly favors the closest one, I guess. I'm sure it's some combination of your facing direction and who's the closest to you, but it's definitely not just the direction you push the stick in. Because, like, I want to go... I mean, if you play it, you'll understand, but it's definitely... Definitely doesn't feel as though... I could reliably dash to the character that or the enemy that I want to, so I would think that would probably be a big deal. So I wonder, I'm not sure if you should just overhaul the auto aiming thing itself, because that's probably tuned for your melee attacks in particular. But you might be able to rig it up so that when you're doing the dash thing specifically, it might act a little differently. Like right now, I'm like holding. Oh wait, that enemy is dead. I was trying. I thought this ragdoll over here was still an enemy that was alive. But for instance, in that last attack there, I was holding straight up, and I still attacked to the left here. So I would suggest like overriding for specifically for this move, so that it actually just favors the control input, like whatever enemy is most in that direction, rather than like sticking to the enemy that's closest and whatnot, so that you can actually have a lot more reliable control over it. I think that would work nicely. Alright, we got the block, the parry. So I guess he's... Alright, we got target HP in the top left. It looks kind of like he's blocking, but it's a little hard to read. I guess he's just tanking it. I didn't do any blocking. Okay, so this is interesting because the tutorial told me to block, but this enemy didn't do anything to warrant me blocking. I just kind of killed him. So again, it's just a little bit of tweaks here for the tutorial, so you're kind of required to do the things it's trying to teach you. I guess we're just fighting real things now. The buttons are a little weird to me. I'd like to change what they're bound to. Okay. So I guess there was some kind of an audio feedback thing here. There's a sound that I didn't really understand. Alright, I guess they died. Not sure what they were doing here. So far I'm just kind of mashing attack. Alright, so that's a block. I guess once I hear that sound I want to... Okay, so something that's interesting I'm noticing is you can't... It appears you can't cancel your attack animation to to do anything. Right, so what I would kind of expect is, particularly like with the dodge move, like if I'm wailing on a guy and suddenly I hear this audio feedback for like he's blocking my attacks and he's about to like counterattack or whatever, my thought is that I immediately want to stop what I'm doing and like dash out of the way. But if I do that and I hit the dash button and it doesn't do anything because I'm still in the attack animation, then it just kind of feels like, you know, it doesn't feel right. Like it doesn't feel like I can do what I feel like I should be able to do here. So I would definitely make it so you could cancel your attack animation and dodge out of the way. I think that would feel a lot better. Instead of having to wait for it to completely finish like that, it doesn't feel responsive, and it doesn't feel very kind of reactive in the way that I can just... That's not the right button. But I can just reflexively react to what's happening here. I think it's been a long time since I played the original Ninja Gaiden on Xbox, but I think that was really good about letting you block and dodge out of your combos like instantaneously, and it made things just very reflexive, and everything felt really good in that game. So I think that would make a big difference. We got air chase. What is that? Oh, right, the Y. Abuse it to your heart's content. So we got some kind of a laser guy going on here. Oh. So he shoots 3 times. Wonder if he keeps tracking you across all 3 shots. Okay, I think... okay, so... I'm assuming what was happening here is there's some kind of area of effect of the shot explosion. And the fact that the bus was right behind me, it was hitting like the bus, and then the explosion was hitting me, and then I was getting hurt by it. It didn't feel right because I was like definitely dodging before the shot happened. So I feel like if I dodge the shot, then it shouldn't hurt me. It's a little weird to still get hit by it like that. So I wonder if it's necessary to have... I assume there's some kind of like an area of effect on the explosion. It's a little early. I think that's what was happening. I'm not sure. Okay, maybe it's... I don't know if it had anything to do with the bus being there and being a big collider right there. Maybe I just dodged slightly too late. But... I feel like even so, if you're going to... like, even if you dodge late, as long as you dodge, like, before the shot gets to you, I feel like you should be able to dodge it. So I wonder if... yeah, I wonder if it would make sense just to shrink down that collider when it hits the ground more. It does have kind of this big explosion effect, but it's just a feeling I get for something like this that's a projectile. It kind of seems to make... It's just kind of a feel thing, but I think it... like the feeling of dodging a shot versus dodging like an explosion, if that makes sense. So like if it's just a laser that's shooting at you, even if you dodge like super late, as long as it was like before the laser got to you, you should be able to avoid it. The difference between that and dodging like a big explosion that has like this big area, which means that you have to kind of dodge early so you get out of the explosion area. I think the former feels better and just kind of feels more intuitive, just the idea of dodging like a laser or whatever. Even if you have the cool visual effect, maybe it would just make sense to shrink that, but that's... I don't know, that's just the initial feeling I get from it, from very brief time with this thing. Okay, so I'm pressing the Y button. I guess I'm not close enough. I don't know. Interesting. So I think I have to restart the whole tutorial, unfortunately, which means that I need to like speed run this because I'm taking forever talking about it. But I don't think it'll take too long. I keep hitting the dodge button thinking it's gonna do attacks, which it doesn't. Alright. I'll try and wrap my head around which button is which here. Where's the other guy? Wait. Okay, that was weird. Okay, so I smashed the Y button a few times thinking I was gonna launch to the other guy. And then I slapped the lock-on button a few times afterwards, and it didn't work. And I think he was just like slightly too far away, which makes me think that the yeah, like I'm mashing the button right now and it's not locking on. Okay, now it's locking on. So yeah, I would definitely like increase the range that this is viable, because I don't think it makes sense, especially because you have this move that you can kind of dash to dudes. I mean, it has a limited range, obviously. It's not going to fly across the map at someone. I actually feel like it should. I feel like it should still work. Like if I hit Y from too far away, I think it should do the dash and just not do the slash at the end or something. Because it just feels weird to hit the button and it not work. Like it's not it's like it's just not responding to your input. It doesn't feel very good. It's also interesting, I noticed that some of the times, even when it did work, it seemed like it was out of range or something because it didn't actually hit the enemy. So those two facts in combination is a little weird. Not sure, maybe that's just a little bit of a bug or something. Yeah, I would definitely increase the lock-on range also, because it's a bit weird when you're too far away and you can't get a lock-on to work, especially when I'm just trying to manage the camera, because if I just want to turn around, there's not a button that'll turn the camera around, but I at least have the lock-on. But if the enemy's just like a little too far away, then I'm just like smashing the button and nothing's happening. It doesn't feel very good. That was silly. I guess if they're attacking, you can't slap them out of it, which is excuse me, sorry. It seems to make sense, so you can't just mash infinitely. I haven't tried any of the special buttons in the bottom left. Is that... Oops, that's not what I meant to do, okay. Guess we're all out of juice now. Okay, so I should have slapped the Y button first, I guess. Yeah, it's a little annoying getting the lock-on to work because of the range restriction here. You definitely have to do some wrangling with the camera to manage it while you're playing, which it's a bit unfortunate. I feel like, especially like after you kill an enemy, it feels like the camera should do something to just kind of like automatically turn to another enemy or something. But I know there's potential problems when you get into that kind of stuff, but definitely feels like it requires a little too much input from the player. Yeah, let's just get rid of this guy. He's still alive. What is the dodge button? Alright. Oops. Okay, that was weird. Okay, so I pressed the A button during that combo just now, and I think I guess I just pressed it at the wrong time or something, but it didn't do any of these pop-up attacks, so I don't know. Do I have to do it at a specific time in the combo, or is it just any time? So I think the first time I tried it, it was after the third attack, but wait. Okay, so it seems like if you do it at the wrong time during an animation, it just eats the input. So in that case, I think the ideal thing to do would be to actually buffer the input there. I think the way it works right now is that there's windows, and then if you hit the A button during one of those windows, it just immediately does the upwards attack. Wait. Yeah, it's like right at the start of the third attack. If I press A, it doesn't do it. So, I mean, maybe that's even intentional. Maybe they just want you to be a little more methodical about it. But in my opinion, especially if I'm just kind of mashing the button, because I'm not really thinking about, there's not like complex inputs or anything for doing this basic attack. So I'm just kind of mashing the button. And then if I suddenly decide that I want to do the upwards thing because it's like necessary or whatever, if I hit that button and then it just doesn't do anything, it doesn't feel very good. So I think it'd be a better idea to buffer the input until it becomes valid again, and then do the upward attack. Alright. Might be nice to get a little more feedback on like when they're blocking. There is a sound. Oh shoot. And yeah, I want to like cancel my attacks to do the dash thing. Okay, so I think my issue with the blocking feedback is twofold. One is that the sound effect sounds like it's it kind of sounds like a bonus sound or something that you get in like an arcade game or in like a Tony Hawk game when you do like a cool trick, and it just has this exciting sound that happens, you know? So it kind of sounds like it's a good thing. So I would actually change that sound effect to something that is a little more evocative of the fact that the enemy is like defeating your attacks and is about to punish you for it. You know, something that sounds a little more negative or a warning or something. The other thing is I think there could be a little bit better visual feedback also to kind of combine with it, because I don't think the visual feedback is good at all. And audio feedback goes a long ways in this regard, but I think in this case it could help to have a little more visual feedback also when that's happening. It's probably the same for when he does when he winds up an attack. Like there's a little red flash, but you don't really see that very much in the thick of everything when there's all this flashy stuff going on. I think you can make that a lot more dramatic. And it's definitely different when it's just a one-on-one situation, because then it's like you can put all of your focus on that one enemy, but when there's like a group of them around you, that makes it much harder to see those tiny little cues and stuff. So I'm like extremely close to death, I guess, which is a little unfortunate because I'm still I don't know how far I am into the demo. I wish I kind of wish you recharged the health between the levels here, because I mean it makes sense if you're playing it kind of casually, I guess, that you would you know, try to avoid as much damage as possible and actually have some degree of challenge, I suppose. I wouldn't say anything has been very hard up to this point, but just the fact that I'm playtesting unfortunately makes it problematic because I keep stopping and talking and testing things. Oh, I forgot he does 3. Oh my gosh, move. Alright, that's unfortunate. So yeah, it's the laser guy's designed in such a way that if you just mash the dodge button, it's not good enough. Which I'm not sure if that's a good thing. I can imagine people getting a little frustrated with that, because it kind of feels like if you're like doing this, then something like that shouldn't be able to hit you, because it's kind of presented as in a way that as long as you stay moving, it's not going to hit you, that kind of thing. But it's actually a lot more particular than that. You have to actually, apparently, like actually wait to dodge at just the right time. Alright, this time I'm actually going to try a little harder to get through this a little faster. Trying to dash to this guy, but he's not in range. Okay. Button. I also need to try these other... the bottom left things here. Judgment Blast, Jet Saw, Blade Burst, Turbo Thruster. Oh, okay. Wait. When did he get his HP back? Was that a bug? I think that might have been a bug, so if you if you watch the video back, the HP in the top left, it went like all the way down to a little sliver, and then it went back up again, I guess? I don't know what happened there. Block. Oh my gosh, they're all staggering their attacks. No, I want to dodge. Some of these attack animations are pretty long, so I can't do anything once I'm locked into them. Alright. Oh shoot. Jeez, that hurts. I don't remember what the block button is anymore. I guess you have to stand still and press this button. Okay. Haven't used that in so long. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Definitely, the attacks happen a little faster than I expect them to. Oh my gosh. So yeah, it took more damage than I wanted to. I was not really so on focus this time. I don't know how many of those are actually hitting. I'm wondering if this is... Maybe it's made so that you're meant to kind of orbit, like strafe around the thing while dodging. I'm wondering if you try to dodge away from it, if it actually just doesn't work and you still get hit. Maybe that's what's happening here. Which doesn't feel right to me. Feels like it should work in any direction you dodge. How did that hit me? I don't know how that hit me. Okay, so I think a lot of these attacks aren't actually hitting the thing, for one thing, which is a bit unfortunate. The other thing is I'm not really sure sometimes why it's hitting me when I feel like I'm dodging at the right time. So yeah, I'm a little bit perplexed about that. Oh my gosh. Wow, that lasts a long time. No! I don't want to get body blocked by these guys when I'm trying to dodge. Oh, I got the height meter. Left bumper. Alright, let's try it. I'm almost dead. Alright, so I got Super Saiyan now. And that meter's dropping. Oh, I still have it. Wonder if it makes your special things stronger when you're in the hyper mode. Hopefully it does. Okay, I guess everything's dead. Holy moly. That lasts a long time. That's a bit dangerous. Oh shoot. Actually meant to hit the roll button. So yeah, I do have some troubles with the controls, unfortunately. It feels kind of backwards the way that the buttons are laid out, unfortunately. But yeah, this is a bit unfortunate. It doesn't actually feel that hard necessarily. It's a bit unfortunate because like it feels like it's probably completely possible to complete this without taking damage, but it's pretty easy to just take damage in ways that don't really feel sort of unexpected, I guess. Like I don't know if I want to just straight up say like it feels like it's not your fault, but it's something close to it. You know what I mean? Not all the time, but just little things here and there, and that's kind of all it takes because you don't have any health regen or anything. So pretty much anytime you take damage in the way that the game is set up currently, it's like not a good thing because you don't get any of that health back. I guess I did at some point. I don't know if that was part of the hyper mode. I got a little bit of something. I haven't been watching the health meter closely enough to know what exactly might have triggered that. I did not see that guy coming. But yeah, I definitely think, in particular, some of these things about like being able to cancel the animations and go into the dodge and stuff would make a big difference. Oof. Still alive? Interestingly, I was able to actually dodge those moves this time. I haven't been using this aerial thing. I don't know. Alright, so this is interesting because it just so happened that by doing the upwards attack, I ended up dodging his attack, which is kind of cool. I'm not even sure if that was intentional, but it worked out. Oof, I feel a bit warm. But yeah, I'm not really sure like what the purpose of the area launch thing is. I don't know if that's just for feel cool purposes, which would make sense, I guess. But generally, when you add in stuff like that, it's ideal, I think, to have, you know, specific uses for it inside the gameplay, where it's like in this situation it can give you some kind of a benefit that you wouldn't otherwise have and that kind of thing. I don't really get a sense of that for popping the dude up in the air right now, but maybe there's something I don't know. Maybe you can extend your combo a little longer, I guess, maybe? Oof. Okay, so that was a little weird because I parried his attack, but he still hit me again. So that doesn't seem right to me. I mean, I understand he's doing like more than one hit for his attack, but it feels like if I parry something, it should cancel his attack, you know, like it's kind of what a parry does. I think. I would say. But yeah. I do like how you can recover after you get sent flying. I did not notice this guy winding up his attack at all. Alright, taking a lot of damage, unfortunately. Why is that hitting me? I did not do enough. Please stop. Some of the hits from that special attack just didn't hit the enemy at all here. I don't know. I do have this. Oh my gosh. I keep hitting Why does he get HP back? There must be some kind of a bug, or there's something about the game I don't understand when he gets back up and he suddenly has all his HP again. It definitely doesn't make sense to my brain, so I'm just gonna guess that it's a bug. What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, my brain like really wants to hit the dodge button as the attack button, so I'm like still fighting that. I feel like there should be some kind of a move that's... I mean, I guess we have the special moves. I keep doing this one because I can't remember which is which. Oh, I ran out of health again. Oh, this sucks. Alright. Phew, it's warm in here. So yeah, I don't really want to like leave this unfinished, especially because there's like a whole other character to play with. But I haven't really used all the special moves. I'm going to try to at least do that before I finish this up. But yeah, I don't really know like which special move is what, so I end up hitting a button and I keep doing the same one. It's kind of silly. I also feel like you should do something with these dead enemies because they kind of resemble the living ones a little bit much. Maybe there's some kind of visual effect. I mean, some of them just fly off into the sunset and that works fine. But occasionally it can be a little confusing when you just see an enemy and it's not actually an alive enemy. So maybe there's some kind of visual that you could... That's a spinny thing. Alright, so that's probably the move if you're surrounded or whatever. It looks like it only goes in certain directions, not like every possible direction, so it looks like it might still miss a bunch of enemies, I don't know. I don't really want to mess with the camera while I'm trying to fight this guy. I'm assuming you have to press dodge or block for each one of those attacks. That's what I was doing, but like I wasn't really I thought about testing it out to see if it worked that way or not, but then I was like, I don't want to keep wasting all of my health. Because I've already died so many times. But yeah, like that guy attacking from off the screen, I didn't really notice any indication that he was attacking or anything, so that's the kind of thing that really drags this kind of game down, unfortunately, is all these little situations where it just feels like you weren't really given enough information and such to react appropriately to that, and then end up getting hit, and then it doesn't feel good. So I think these guys actually have like sight cones or something. I don't know, something a little funny with the AI where he just kind of walked to the edge of the level and didn't react to me for a bit. I thought that was funny. Oops. So I should probably be hitting this lock-on button, but it's like a little bit of a reach. Feels a little bit bothersome to do that. I wonder if maybe you should just... It occurs to me I haven't used the left trigger, the left bumper at all while playing. I don't know if you have any other plans for using those buttons, but it seems like it makes sense. You know, just let me use the left trigger. I naturally rest my fingers on the left trigger, so the bumpers are a bit of a reach for me. Some people it's the other way around, but like if I could just hit the left trigger to lock onto people, I would do that all the time because I don't have to move any of my digits to another position. It's just always right there. That is not the right button. No. Alright, so yeah, in that case I dodged, but I still got hit. You could argue I dodged in the wrong direction, but I feel like maybe there should have been more iframes or something. I don't know if you get iframes and you're dodging, or if it's purely movement. I'm assuming you have iframes. Yeah, I definitely think there's going to be a lot of little things like that where, for the player, it might seem a little different for you as the developer because you have all these intentions that you're going into it with. But for the player that doesn't have, is not aware of your intentions, there could be a lot of these situations where it feels like, you know, they did this, they dodged at this time, or they attacked at this time, or whatever, and they kind of expect something to happen from that. And if the game doesn't meet their expectations, in some cases that can kind of be unfortunate because it's kind of counterintuitive, and then they end up getting hit when they thought that they wouldn't. You don't want the player to have that kind of experience, and obviously there's going to be certain things that the player just has to learn and kind of come to terms with, but the less that you can kind of force the player to come to terms with, the more you can make it intuitive and work as the player expects them to, the more the better the game is going to feel. It's just going to be more fun. Yeah, like that last shot, that definitely shouldn't have hit me, I don't think. Unless I'm missing something here. I don't know, can I block these with the block button? Does that work? Ugh. I can't see, holy crap. I'm trying to, oh my gosh. I'm mashing the dodge button there. I was fiddling with the lock-on button a bit. I was trying to see if that was working the way I expected it to or not. That guy's looking around. That's kind of cute. There was a brief moment where I thought I hit the lock-on button and it didn't do anything. So I was like, you know, is that gonna not work during certain animations or something? But I couldn't like recreate it, so I don't know. I could have just imagined it. I can't actually jump up there. Oh, come on. So I think he got his HP back again, or is this just the first time I attacked him? Alright, well, we're back here again. I'm also almost dead again, so... Yeah, so that only hits what those little blade things hit. I'm trying to dodge out of the animation. My gosh, yeah, I'm trying to block out of the animation. It's like really weird. Alright, yeah, I died again at the same place. But it seems like, I think, let me just test this again real quick. What the heck? Alright, so the thing with the blocking, I mean, again, you can't like cancel the animation in the block or anything. You have to like wait until you're at least partially done with the animation before you can pull the block out. But with blocking moves, most games have you kind of hold the button down to block. So it feels really intuitive, like if you're in the middle of a combo, to just like press and hold the block button. Like if you're trying to block something. And it just never comes out. So I can understand that it, in this game, you're not meant to hold it. But it's, again, I mean, it's the same thing as what I was talking about before, where it doesn't buffer the input or anything, even if you're holding it. So that's another thing. So I guess it's slightly different. Because there's, for one thing, there's the concept, or if you press the button at a time where where that move can't be executed yet, that it would just remember that and then it would execute it as soon as it can. But the other thing is that if you just hold down the button and then like wait for the time when you can execute the next move, which is very similar to buffering, I guess, but it's slightly different in the player's mind, I guess. I mean, particularly with the block, or if they're slapping the attack button and then they hold the block button and it just never happens. It just feels really wrong. They're just like, they just want to block, and it just never comes out. So it's kind of an assumption, I guess, on the player's part, where if they hold the block button, eventually the block is going to come out, but it just never does. And so yeah, I think, you know, if you just go back to that idea of buffering the inputs, you could fix that problem. I mean, I guess in that case it would count whether or not you held it down. But yeah, I should probably wrap this up. I feel I was inside it. I didn't even know that guy was there. So I have no doubt I can complete this. It doesn't actually feel that hard. It's just like there's these situations here and there where the damage just kind of comes out of nowhere. There's that laser tower thing that seems to hit you even if you're dodging. I don't really know how to consistently avoid damage from that, so that eats up like a ton of my health, especially since there's so many of them in this demo. But of course, the other thing is the fact that I'm playtesting. I don't have like the full degree of concentration that I would have if I was just playing this casually on my own, because I'm recording and I'm talking. It's quite a different experience. I'm sure like if I quit recording, I could complete this more easily, but yeah, I wanted to see the rest of the demo, and I don't know if there's any other enemies. There may not be, for all I know, but also, you know, there was the other fighter. I don't know how he differs apart from maybe his special moves, or I don't know if he has any other attributes. I think originally this said something about like this character was more about speed and stuff. I'm not really sure about these specials, because it kind of feels like you just kind of pick one and it doesn't necessarily matter that much. Like, I got the sense that the blade burst was for like if you were surrounded, even though it kind of missed some of the enemies, which is a little disappointing. But apart from that, it's just like, okay, you have Jet Saw and Judgment Blast, which I don't know, they just kind of deal damage, right? They have different costs. The Judgment Blast lasts a long time, so it makes you kind of vulnerable, and I guess it can reach further. A Turbo Thruster, I don't know, I guess you could use that in combos or something. It's a little hard for me to wrap my head around like what the intention is for like how you're meant to use these. Versus just like randomly needing or wanting to do more damage at a certain amount of time, or a certain point in time. The cost is a little prohibitive for some of this. I mean, obviously you get it back as you kill enemies and stuff, but you're not just throwing these out just willy-nilly, so it's a little hard to kind of incorporate this into the regular gameplay, because you know, it takes a little while to recharge again, and then for me, for this kind of thing, it's just really natural to want to conserve that stuff until I feel like I really need to use it, because there is a cost associated with it. It's not, it doesn't just like recharge after a second or two, you know. And so it definitely feels like if you're going to spend it, it should be on something worthwhile. Then I'm like I guess ultimately the question is, what is the worthwhile moment for when you're using these things? And it doesn't really appear to be one. It's just kind of whenever you feel like doing more damage or something. So I wonder if that's if that, the way I described it, if that makes sense to you. I wonder if you could find ways to incorporate this into something that kind of has more of these clear uses, where it's like in this moment this is like really advantageous to use this ability or something. And another thing is you might, you know, think about tweaking how fast you recharge it or something. So maybe like the turbo thruster, again, it gives me the idea that maybe it's something to use in combos or something. So maybe you'd want to, you know, be able to use that up frequently, which for all I know, maybe you can. I'm not really sure how to use that very well, though. It kind of seems to have a bit of the same issue as like with the normal dash thing, where it's a little hard to control exactly where it goes. So I think that would be a bit of a problem with that move. I do like how it uses the same button as the normal dash thing, though. That actually, now that I think about it, that feels pretty good, because you can just like, yeah, that's kind of cool, because it's just kind of like a super version of the move, right? You just like hold the right trigger and it makes it like the super version, which the other moves don't really have that quality. This might be something interesting to consider also, is just to, instead of having these, you know, just random attacks that you can do, super attack things or whatever you want to call them, you could incorporate a system where you have like enhanced versions of your regular moves. I think that would be very intuitive, where you just slap the right trigger and suddenly the next moves are like super moves or whatever. That would be cool, I think. And you could also incorporate that into different combos and stuff. Like if you use it on specific moves in a combo, then it makes like a super version, and you can get all these different versions or something. I don't know. I mean, that's a completely different direction, but that might be, if I was to make a game like this, that might be something I would do. But maybe that's just completely different from what you're aiming for. That's not the right button. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I did press the dodge button, but it was too late, I guess. The animation, I believe, started. So that's one of those things that irks me a little bit, even though I was kind of pretty late to do it. I just get the feeling that like if I successfully activated the dodge, then it should have avoided the attack. So yeah, I'm not sure like if you get any invincibility at all or whatever for your dodge, but it feels like it should, in my opinion. I guess I'll keep going with this. I know that this is kind of dragged on and I haven't really gotten further with it, but I guess next time I die, I'll wrap up the video. I probably said all I need to. I want to lock onto this guy. It's funny that he can lock onto me and I can't lock onto him from this range. Oh my gosh. Alright, well, just to make sure. Alright, that completely missed. Okay. Now, is this something you can control to some extent, that laser? Because I noticed sometimes it moved around a little. I didn't know if that was me doing that or if it just did it on its own. Now I'm curious. It seems weird that you would be able to like move it around. Because then it ends up being like an element where you have to actually aim it like you would a gun or something, and that's not really so far what this game has been about, you know. And so it seems a little weird. Oh. Okay, so this is the first time I've noticed this. In the top left, where it has the target HP, it has an X2. Apparently there's like 2 bars. So I guess that explains why there was these situations where the the enemies suddenly had all their HP again. Which I never figured out until now, so maybe there's a clearer way you could visually indicate that, you know. Yeah, I wouldn't just do the X2 thing. I would try something different. I mean, there's different ways you could approach that visually, but that is not the right button. Oh my gosh. I can't get back up there. I did not want to land on that bus. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it is a little annoying when you dash towards a guy and then it stops to do that slash when you're not even in range. I would definitely prefer if it just didn't do the extra slash at the end and then I could just do do another dash towards the enemy to actually get into the range. Okay, that was really rude. So that was interesting because he only blocked the final attack and then he hit me. So it was like that was really rude. Oh my gosh! I wonder if you should just make that final attack unblockable or something because that felt really strange. It's like after all those hits and then it's just like right at the last one, suddenly I get punished for it. It's really strange. Oh, I guess you can turn that. It's strange. That's not the right button. I can't remember which is which. I don't know, can you move it up and down? Is that the idea? The laser? Because it doesn't seem you can move it side to side. Oh no! I'm trying to hit the dodge button in my attack combos and it doesn't work. Oh my gosh. It takes a really long time to regain the ability to dodge again. Alright, so I actually made it past this level. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Can you shoot these guys? Where did you come from? That's not cool. Yeah, so in this case it was a little guy that flew at me from off the screen again. That's like... There's not like an easy solution to that kind of thing, but I hope you can see how that just doesn't feel very fun when the little guy flies at you from off the screen. You just had no idea that there was an attack coming at you. So yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this up, but hopefully you got some good feedback from that. I think I made clear the parts that stuck out to me the most. But you know, lots of good stuff, obviously. I don't generally take the time to explain everything that's done well. I kind of focus on what I think sticks out to me that could be improved upon, but obviously very early demo and a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of gameplay here already, so definitely feels like it could be pretty great in a finished version. I think you know, a lot of this stuff is just little things, so that would make like a really big difference. So I could definitely see myself having a lot of fun with this. I think the tower enemies have been annoying, you know. Not just the fact that like I couldn't dodge their attacks a lot of the time, but just kind of by their nature, just the way it's designed. I think the fact that the demo here had just such a limited number of enemies implemented already means that they were kind of restricted in the scenarios they could create, which may be why they those big towers were showing up so often, but it just wasn't that much fun to deal with the towers, I think. Particularly when there's like multiples of them and then all the enemies and stuff. I think it makes them quite a nuisance. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is just being able to reliably avoid damage and keep that kind of fluid and reactionary gameplay in there where you can kind of avoid, you know, use the dodge button and the block button when it's more relevant when you're in the thick of, you know, swinging your sword at dudes and stuff, and then all of a sudden you get this feedback and it's like, okay, you have to do something different or you're gonna get punished, and then like you're still stuck in this like crazy like wind up attack animation. You can't actually stop it. That feels pretty frustrating, so I think that's probably the biggest thing that I would focus on. But yeah, that's really good. I wanted to try out the other guy. It probably would have been cool. I think this is the red guy, I'm assuming, and I've seen some of his moves that were really cool looking, so it's a little disappointing that I didn't get to play him, but sure we'll be able to at some point. And yeah, hopefully this is useful for you. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope I didn't forget to mention anything. I know this is very long, drawn out, and contains a lot of babbling, but yeah, definitely excited to see where this goes, and I will see you in the next video.